Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. Um, so the first question I have is really just tell us who you are and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Revlynn Lawson. I'm a partner with Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson. I am in the Governmental Affairs Division, and I am responsible for tracking legislation on behalf of the firm. And I also am on the national marketing team, and I'm responsible for some business development.
Awesome. And tell us how you got into law.
Oh, that's an interesting story in the sense that I do not consider myself really a lawyer in the traditional sense. I really consider myself more of a social worker with a law degree. My background, I got my bachelor's in psychology and sociology, and then I received my master's in social work. I was really interested in public policy at the time and social welfare causes. So that's what encouraged me to actually go to law school. So I went to law school and focused on policy and legislation.
So if I was in the eighth grade, how would you tell me what you do? Describe what you do.
I would first and foremost in the eighth grade probably refer you to Schoolhouse Rock and encourage you to understand or I would encourage you to watch that video and understand how bills are made. That is typically what I do. If there is legislation that's been introduced, if I am carrying a bill on behalf of my firm, then I shuttle it through the process. I go to committee hearings, I talk to members, I talk to their staff, I talk to all the stakeholders and interested parties, and help to get my bill passed. And conversely, I also try to kill bills in the sense that if I don't like a bill or if the firm does not like a bill, then we go through the process and try to stop it at any point.
Did you know you always wanted to be a lawyer?
Absolutely not. Again, I did not really think about being a lawyer in the traditional sense, meaning going into the to a courtroom and filing briefs. None of that. I really got into law with the idea that it would be focused on legislation and public policy. Um, yeah, that's how I kind of landed here.
Awesome. So tell me, how long have you been in Austin?
My family actually moved to Austin in 1983. I'm really a native of Houston, Texas, but we moved here right when I started high school. So I went to high school here in Austin and moved away for college and graduate school and the first part of my career. And then I moved back to Austin in 2005. So I've been here since then.
So tell me what it's like being a Black woman in law or a lawyer.
It can be lonely, especially being a Black woman lawyer in Austin, a city that is increasingly, I think, becoming less and less diverse. It has its challenges, but when I do meet other women and specifically other Black women, that's how I have managed to create a community that makes it a bit easier in the sense that we can talk about our struggles and help each other through difficult or even challenging times.
Um, Give me an example of a time when you felt that being a you felt being you felt as a Black woman in law. You know, sometimes we go through the world and we just are, but sometimes there are moments.
I would say it's evident when I'm the only person of color in a room, whether that is in a meeting or in the Capitol. Sometimes in a group of stakeholders, I'm often the only Black woman in the room, only Black person in the room, and even sometimes the only person of color in the room. That would be one glaring example of when it's most noticeable.
What advice would you give someone who, well, you didn't tell me where you're born and raised. Did you tell me?
I mentioned that a little bit
Oh,
earlier. But yes, born and raised in Houston, Texas. Went to high school here in Austin, then the college in Los Angeles, and law school in St. Louis. Then I worked on the Hill in DC for a while. And then I went back to Los Angeles where I started the beginning portions of my career in social work and then in government relations and with Los Angeles County. And did a couple of other stops along the way, worked for United Negro College Fund, ran a nonprofit, and then I came back to Austin.
So I have a few questions that I kind of stole from Tim Ferriss, that I thought were kind of cool. One of them is, what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life over the last 6 months or recent memory?
Impacted my life, and it's something I would have had to buy for myself. Oh gosh. Ooh, that's a really hard question. You're gonna edit all of this, right? While I'm sitting here rethinking.
Of course, of course.
Oh, I'm not even a shopper, so that's hard. I don't even really buy things. Oh gosh. And then $100 or less that has impacted my life. Whew. In the last 6 months, God, what does that even place me? I'm sorry. Can we even come back to this question? Like I said, I don't buy things really. So that's really what I'm gonna have to think about. That's the
No
challenge.
worries, no worries. Well, I've
Help
got
me,
a
help
few
me with
more no worries. So how about this one? This is another Tim Ferriss question. If you had a gigantic billboard anywhere in the world and you could get a message out to millions or billions of people, what would that message be?
Oh gosh, I would say that message would say two things, and I credit both my mother and my grandmother for these things. I would say to do the right thing, and I definitely got that from my grandmother, and fight for what you believe in. Those would be the two things, and that would definitely be from my mother.
Awesome. Another one that I really like is, what's an unusual habit or an absurd thing that you love?
Oh God. Oh God, there's so many. This is where I could talk for an absurd thing that I love. Oh, I don't even know if it's absurd, but I know a lot of my friends tease me about my love of random podcasts. Right now, right now I'm listening to a lot of serial killers and history podcasts. Uh, yeah, so what will happen is my friends will often be telling a story and I will remember something random from one of these podcasts and insert that into the conversation. So
Wow.
so right now I'm listening to dictators, and yeah, that's that makes for great dinner conversation, I guess, about dictators.
Wow. What behavior or belief has, over the last few years, has most improved your life?
A behavior that has improved my life, I would say, during our lockdown in COVID, it was a wonderful time. The only good thing that came out of that was the time I had to spend with myself being quiet and really listening to myself and what my needs were, what my true needs were, what my sleep cycles, my body, the things I wanted to eat, how I wanted to exercise, and really about how I wanted to spend my time. Granted, I was still working and doing things from home during that time, but it really gave me a lot of space to reflect and listen to my body and pay attention to who I am at my core, I think.
What's your superpower?
I would say my superpower is being able to see people for who they are upon an initial meeting. That doesn't mean I necessarily act on that, but I think when people present themselves for the first time, you can gather a lot of information about who they are upon that first meeting. And more often than not, I think I've been correct with my initial gut reaction to folks, for better and worse, mostly better, but for better and worse. Yeah, I think that may be my superpower. That and talking to and dogs, dogs, it was, and dogs. Even the most aggressive dogs, I usually get them to calm down. And
Oh, that is a superpower.
yeah, I like puppies.
Oh,
And mine is chasing her tail right now.
oh. What, when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, or you've lost your focus, what do you do to get back to center?
I read. I am a heavy reader. I read a lot of things, and when I feel overwhelmed, reading definitely calms me down. It allows me space to take my mind off of whatever's troubling me, bothering me, or worrying me, and just to step outside myself, step into another story, and yeah, and think about other things, and then I can get back to whatever it is in a different mindset, I think. Or that would be number one. Or number two, I will exercise. A good kickboxing class can cure most ills.
What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? And it could be anything: time, money, energy, people. It could be anything.
Ooh, that's hard. The best one investment I've made. I would say two things, and I would say first and foremost, the best investment I've ever made has been in my education. I think that having gone through to college and gotten through law school, it has allowed me somewhat of a freedom in terms of a career. And I think this touches on what we spoke about earlier in terms of not being a traditional lawyer. It has given me space to explore other areas of law, perhaps other career options. So with that, I would say that education has given me some freedom with respect to career options. Um, and I would say the other best investment, the one thing I make sure to do for myself is to travel. Uh, that that for sure pays pays out. I think in terms of exposure to the world and connecting with other people that are unlike yourself. So I love to travel. I travel as often as I can, and I would say that is one of the other best investments I make sure to spend on myself.
Awesome. What are your life lessons that you've learned?
Oh, okay. Best life lesson I would say is to always be true, being true to myself. And if I don't want to do something, or if I'm uncomfortable, or if I know in my heart of hearts, if I don't want to do something, to not do it. And being able to say no, or no, thank you. Um, but yeah, I think that's the best lesson. I think you have to grow into being able to do that. I don't know. Maybe you don't grow into it. I think little kids are really good about saying no, right? And then you get into a space where you're supposed to please people. Maybe I don't know, but I think there comes a time. Maybe I don't even know what time that is, but there comes a time in your adulthood when you have to be comfortable saying no to things that you just don't want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna change Wi-Fi, and hopefully it won't cut off. But if it does, we'll just reconnect on my other device.
Okay. Do you mind if I get up for one quick second?
Of course, yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, what?
Yeah, my dog is being quiet. I don't trust her.
Oh,
Hey, Zora. What is all this?
do it. I'm gonna have to hang up. I think I can call her back.
Okay, fine, sit back. That's fine. Big girl. No, go get your baby. You're fine. Thank you.
Maybe it is.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, I think it is working. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope that is. Okay, so and I think you talked about it a little bit. How do you give back to the community?
Well, I am very involved in a few organizations. I am a member of the Links, the Town Link chapter of the Links here in Austin. And we have several initiatives primarily focusing on services to youth and the arts and several other things. I'm not even going to go into all that with you, but I am active with the Town Link chapter of the Links. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and I'm on the board for Breakthrough Central Texas. That one is very, very, very dear to my heart. What Breakthrough Central Texas focuses on is getting first generation students to and through college. So, of course, that means no one else in their family has gone or graduated from college. And we identify children who, in the 6th grade, who are interested in and show, a good likelihood of going to college. Excuse me, going to college and getting them all the way through high school and getting them to college. And then we still offer supportive services while they're in college. So the goal is to graduate from college, not just to get to college. I'm also on the board for Explore Austin, and that focuses on getting children outside. They go water rafting, they go hiking, and they get to go to some neat places all over the country. And again, that focuses on low income children who otherwise would not be exposed to many outdoor activities.
Awesome. What do you see as your purpose in life?
I think I see my purpose, number one, just to be a decent human being. And as I go through this life, to be kind and gracious as I can to others, and also to give back. I've been blessed with a wonderful family, with a great education, and I want to help others get to a place where they can succeed. Life is hard, and it's hard for a lot of people, and I want people to really live to their full capacity and help break down some of those barriers that keep people from being able to do that within their own lives.
Awesome. Do you have kids?
No, thank you.
Oh my God. So,
What? No. Never had a
well,
desire.
there's a question, but if the other question is how do you want to be remembered?
I mean, I think that gets back into just in terms of how I lived and how I treated other people. Certainly not always perfect, but I want to be remembered as someone who cared, most importantly, who absolutely cared, who cared about other people and did things to the best of my capability and my ability to help other people. Yeah, I mean, I want to be remembered as being a good and decent person.
Awesome.
How do you think you'll be remembered?
Depends on who you ask. Hopefully, I mean, I think I would say this. I think I'll be remembered that way, especially as I've gotten into an older age. I mean, certainly no, I was never perfect, and everyone grows and matures. So I think I'll be remembered. Hopefully, I'll be remembered as being a good friend, a good auntie. Yeah, that's how I hope I'm remembered. That's how I think I'll be remembered, let's say. And I want people laughing at my funeral, at me, and hopefully with me.
Love it. What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh God. Let's see. I would tell myself, I mean, I would tell my younger self to be less afraid of doing the wrong thing. To just go for it, to go for certain things. I don't know that I would have gotten necessarily to the same path. So when you asked me earlier if I always wanted to be a lawyer, no. I think if I had had absolute freedom, I probably would have been an anthropologist or a cultural cinematographer. I'd probably be making documentaries somewhere, dirty and in a jungle somewhere. Is probably what I would be doing. So when I say I would tell my younger self to be less afraid of doing the wrong thing, it would be around not being afraid of having a non-traditional career then. I mean, I think kids today can envision those kinds of things for themselves because they can see it. I did not have, there was no internet. There wasn't, you didn't see these things. So I think I would have told myself back then to be less afraid of doing different things.
What's the best place you've ever lived?
Lived? Oh gosh. I would say Los Angeles.
Or traveled?
Travel. No, I could write a whole book on travel. The best place I've ever traveled. Well, see, qualify best in terms of what? That's hard.
It's on you.
Oh gosh, the best place. I mean, the place I have felt most at home has been Curacao. In terms of the culture, the food, the people, the history. The most interesting place I've probably ever traveled was Sicily in Italy, I would say. Again, history and just getting into culture and art. The most challenging place I've ever visited was Romania for lots of reasons. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I love to travel. So I could talk about travel lots. But I would say that the thing that I learned about traveling to a challenging place, what made that one of the best places I've ever been, is because I really had to step outside my comfort zone to navigate it, to do the things that I thought I wanted to do, to go hunt down Dracula's castle and some of the places historically where Vlad Dracul lived. But yeah, I could talk about travel forever. So that's a hard question in terms of best place. They're all the best for different reasons.
Who's your favorite person? Oh, I ask you that one?
No, you haven't. Living or dead?
Living.
Still living?
Yes. Or,
that.
Yeah. Yes.
Still living. Definitely my mother. She's hilarious. I am thankful to be so much like her in a lot of ways. But she's strong. My mother is so strong. And she raised us to be just decent people. But yeah, definitely my favorite person is my mother. And I owe her a lot in everything.
Did I ask you what is your purpose? What is your
I'm sorry,
you feel
it sounds.
You did.
okay? Yeah, I think my internet was kind of going wacky. Um, let's see. But your favorite book or a book you'd recommend?
Favorite book. I always go back to Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And I don't know if you heard me call my dog, her name is Zora, for probably that reason. It just says a lot about perseverance and about it talks a lot about how we love people even when they're not at their best. So while it's fiction, I think I always go back to that book. I pick it up at least once every couple of years.
What do you enjoy doing in your leisure time?
Oh, traveling. If I have time to be away, I'm definitely traveling anywhere and doing all the things, and reading.
What does it mean to be chosen as a top 10?
Oh, it was a surprise, first and foremost, and absolutely an honor just to be recognized. I think it's especially neat in the sense that I am not a traditional lawyer. So I think that it is a wonderful recognition to be honored for not being a traditional lawyer. So I think it's great. And I think it is important for all of us to be visible in this community so that we can see ourselves and others can see us as Black people doing things in Austin.
Absolutely. Well, that was my last question. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
No, I'm still kind of in my back of my head trying to think of the $100 what I spent that was under $100. I would like to say it was a plane ticket somewhere. So maybe it was something, but under $100, that's hard. So I really don't. It was probably it could be a
gas or anything, Well, sometimes gas is close to 100 nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. How about that? Here's what I would tell you. The best thing I spent, I think less than 100 or around $100 on for myself would have been my passport renewal. How about that?
That's good.
So
That's
while not tangible, certainly access to the entire world.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, like I said, that was my last question. I really appreciate you spending this time with me, and again, sorry for I'm in transit. I'm actually in the car now, so
wow.
So
okay.
thanks for being so patient.
Well, thank you. And again, I consider it an honor to even have been considered, much less selected, for this award this year. So thank you.
Well, hopefully we'll see you soon next month, because it's always great to see all of you guys get together and everybody, like you said, you're all in different areas of law. So to see you guys get together and, kind of trade little barbs is really cool.
Yes. And what time? I think I have it somewhere. I was looking for the email today. What time is it?
It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and it's at 6:00 at the JW Marriott downtown.
Okay. Fantastic. Right. And of course, I have a 5 a.m. flight the next day. So
no way. Oh my God. Well, you're gonna party hard.
Yes, and then pass out on the plane. That's my plan.
Exactly.
I like that necklace. That's pretty.
Oh, it's actually part of the shirt.
Oh, is it? It looks like a necklace. Oh God, it's really pretty.
Cool. Yeah.
Built-in jewelry. Awesome.
I know, right? Well, Well, thank you so much again for your patience. And let me see Zora. I want to see what Zora looks like.
Okay, hang on. Let me grab her because she's like standing right here. Let me put the baby gate down. Come here, Zora. Here, look. Zora, come say hi. Come say hi. Come here. Come here. There she is.
Oh wow, she's bigger than I thought.
Oh, she's a black lab.
Oh my God, I was thinking little.
Oh no! Oh no! This is my dog. This is my running and swimming companion. So look.
Awesome. Hi, Zora. I know.
She hears you. Oh no, she's a big one.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again, Revlynn. This is awesome. I can't wait to meet you in person. Even though you are AKA, we're Delta.
Well, I like to tell everyone my best friend is a Delta.
I was about to say some of my best friends are Delta, AKAs as well. And yeah, it's so funny because one of my friends, we actually pledged at the same time, and she was pledging AKA and I was pledging Delta. And so we were both pledging at the same time. Different sororities, right? Different
that's cool.
AKA and Delta.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Where'd you pledge?
I pledged at the University of South Alabama. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alabama girl.
Yep, that's where my sister, my dad, and my sister live in Birmingham. One of my sisters live in Birmingham. On that side of the family. Did I lose you? Bye.